And now it's time to take a look at regional headlines where up in the CNMI, of course, things going on with the political climate, efforts being put forth to impeach Governor Ralph Torres. Of course, we had a story followed by our own Tomas Manglona about a protest that was done roadside to hopefully achieve that very end with the protesters seeking that. And of course, the ongoing surge. Tomas joins us as he always does in the KOM News Zoom room. Tomas, good morning.
Good morning, Jason. Yes, more developments on the impeachment process for Governor Ralph Torres. Yesterday, his legal counsel, Gilbert Burnbrick, wrote to the House Speaker expressing some concern about the announcement of the special committee of the House to evaluate whether or not to impeach the governor. Gilbert Burnbrick, the legal counsel for the CNMI governor, said, "We respectfully request that the House adopt explicit rules that govern the process by which the committee will operate, including the admission of evidence, taking of testimony, due process afforded the governor. Absent rules, the special committee will be making ad hoc decisions on these critical matters, which would undermine the public's confidence in its legitimacy." He writes, as to the membership of the committee, we request that they be evenly divided among those who caucus with Republicans and with Democrats. They request that the committee should not have among its members anyone who is an announced candidate for governor or who has previously expressed an opinion on the guilt of the governor of the allegations asserted in the pending impeachment resolution. Shortly following that, though, the committee membership was announced by House Speaker Edmund Villagomez. He appointed members to the Special Investigative Committee on Impeachment, of course, after House Resolution 22-14, calling for the impeachment of Governor Ralph Torres was introduced just on Monday. He appointed 9 members of this committee. The first is Vice Speaker BJ Atau, who will serve as the chair. The second is BJ Atau, who will serve as the chair and is also a Republican. Another Republican lawmaker, Representative Angel Damapan. Joseph Flores, who's an independent. Representative Joseph Lipon Guerrero, who's a Republican. Representative Karina Magofnia, who's a Democrat. Representative Donald Manglona, who's an independent. Representative Tina Sablan, who is a Democrat and notably also running for governor, so she's a member of that committee. Representative Patrick Nicholas, who is a Republican, and Representative Layla Staffler, who's a Democrat. So these 9 members will be making up the Special Investigative Committee on Impeachment. We're going to be interviewing a few of them today, and so you can stay tuned for that interview tonight on our primetime newscast. And I wanted to switch gears to COVID news. The surge here in the CNMI, unfortunately, continues to rage on. Last night, the Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation reporting 74 cases of confirmed positive for COVID-19 from December 20th. This now brings the CNMI total to 2,580 cases since March 2020. As of December 20th, though, there have been 1,606 recoveries. There are now 678 active deaths and 10 people who are hospitalized as a result of COVID. 7 of them are unvaccinated, 3 are vaccinated, and 2 are on a ventilator. We should note that since October 28, there's been 2,289 new cases. So a vast majority of those cases happening just in the past 8 weeks or so, of which 1,234 were identified in contact tracing, about 1,000 via community testing, and about 35 for travel testing. There's also good news on the vaccine front. On December 21st, about 487 people got their vaccine shots, which now brings us to a total of 92.2% of the CNMI's eligible population being fully vaccinated. So Chris and Jace will continue to bring you the latest on both of those fronts tonight on Prime Time.
You're actually hitting the road and, you're going to be on the field continuing, your coverage, which has been outstanding. But it seems, obviously the 2 big storylines, with the political climate, which is only increased in intensity and, it's really, really ramped up. And then, of course, the surge. What tends to be the pulse of the community there in terms of what they're paying attention to more and what concerns them the most?
Yeah, I think right now, as indicated with public health, lots of folks wondering what this holiday will look like with this surge. Yesterday, last week, Public Health coming out saying, reconsider your gatherings, and if you can't cancel it, then maybe think of how you can do it outside with masks, or make sure everyone has a booster shot. Similarly, on the political front, people saying it's the holidays, so let's be nice to each other, and we'll come back in the new year. But we'll see. I mean, I think it was really interesting to receive the news of the impeachment committee being formed so soon, just really a day after the resolution was introduced, because we were not expecting to hear from that. Right before the House session ended on Monday, Edmund Villagomez, the House Speaker there, said he doesn't anticipate calling a session in the next, during the holidays. And so we are expecting that announcement much later, but it looks like with this announcement, wheels are in motion, and it looks like they're not necessarily entertaining all of the requests by the governor's office to keep the committee just to maybe some of the people who they would prefer to have on the committee. And notably, Tina Sablon, who's running for governor under the Democratic Party, is on that committee on impeachment.
Yeah, and I saw in your interview with Governor Torres yesterday, he called out Tina, right? And he said, hey, she's running for governor, and she has an interest in getting me out because then it's one less opponent for her, right? Is what he said? It
is, and it's interesting. And I think in the next and as I mentioned in our last live report, if this, it's likely that impeachment will happen in the House. The numbers appear to be there based on the signatures on that pre-filed resolution alone.
Tomas, can I just interrupt really quick on that, just for clarity, right? So the articles of impeachment, if they vote on it and they have the votes, does that mean that Governor Torres will be removed from office, or does it mean that there's going to be a trial moving forward? Just so people can know.
They initiate. So he'll be in, if the vote does happen, he will be impeached, and then it will be brought to the Senate for conviction. You can think of this, similar to the process, and not necessarily the same circumstances, but the same process as President Trump.
Yeah.
Where and that's what some people are giving me the comparison of how that might look like. The impeachment might happen in the House, but not make anywhere in the Senate. And that's something that was reflected, if you heard yesterday, from the governor himself saying, the House has the numbers, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to have I'm pretty confident in a fair process, or maybe even favorable process in the Senate. And also given that his running mate for Lieutenant Governor, Senator Vinny Sablon, is in the Senate, and Senate President June Hofschneider is part of the Republican Party. And of course, in the House, 20 members, 2/3 are at least 14 members. Or if you want to be exact, 13.3. And I think I was asking people, do you round down or up for a person? And you round up, apparently, I think in this case. And in the Senate, it's 9 members. So you would need about 6. And so, this continues to play out. We're going to be interviewing a few of the members today, and we'll bring you their perspectives on how this committee will operate, and really get down to the details of what this looks like in the coming weeks, just as we enter the new year.
All right. So Tomas working really, really hard virtually. So, God bless the CNMI and God bless Zoom.
Yes, Jace.
Thank you, Tomas.
Thanks, guys.
Merry Christmas.
All right. Be safe out there, man. So since Tomas was talking about the continuing situation in the NMI with coronavirus, let's take a look at what's happening with COVID-19 in the mainland, as the government says U.S. population growth is the lowest it's been since the founding of our nation. And they are saying COVID is one of the leading factors for the decline. CBS